So I think 2024 has been my most creative and innovative year in my photography journey so far. Videography and filmmaking wise, not so much. I'm Nicholas Clayton Lee, let's get into it. I say this because in 2024 I actually went out to a lot more photography related events like photo walks as well as Fujifilm and Canon events. So I was able to experience a lot more camera systems as well as learn about certain cameras and what they can do compared to having that one camera or two cameras that I usually have and just playing around with them. I find that learning about other camera systems and testing them out is actually something I really enjoy and I find really fun. I was also able to test out a Leica for the first time because I got it and then I loved it. I'll talk more about it later on. And I tend to be in Vancouver near the beginning of every year because my grandmother's birthday is around that time as well as Chinese New Year, so my family's in Vancouver. And I was with my Fujifilm X-H2S going around taking some photos, and there were some photos I really loved. And I gotta say the Fujifilm X-H2S is mainly a videography camera, but it still takes amazing photos, and the tracking on this, the autofocus on this is a lot better than the other Fujifilm cameras, so I really enjoy that. But I noticed that I still don't use this enough for videography, so in 2025 looking forward I'm gonna be putting this to work, so I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm really looking forward to sharing my stuff with you guys with that. But I do love a lot of the photos I took in Vancouver. I was able to test out a lot of things that I've never tried in Vancouver before, so it was a really nice experience. And some of my favorite photos I've ever taken so far, it's still in Vancouver. Actually, one being this. This is one of my favorite photos I've ever taken, with the mountain at the back and there's a person walking their dog right in the corner. And I think this is a really nice photo because of the composition as well as the color grading. I think it's actually perfect for the situation and the mood of it. And then in late February, early March, my photography journey changed a lot because of this camera, the Fujifilm X106. I was able to actually get my hands on this the second day it came out. I was actually very lucky because I was able to pre-order this camera like 2 or 3 days after it was announced in Vancouver, and I found like a small camera store which is Downtown Cameras, a smaller one compared to Vistec and Henry's, and I ordered it and they actually called me like this day it launched, and I was able to get my hands on it. But after getting this camera, my photography journey changed a lot because it was so compact and it was so small that it made me want to go out to take a lot of photos. At first, I didn't really like this camera because it didn't have a tilting screen. Unlike the other XT5 or something, I can tilt the camera vertically, like the screen vertically I meant, and I was able to see it, but it only tilted this way, so I really didn't like that function. But over time, I got used to it and I really love this camera. Obviously, it still sucks that I can't tilt it like this, but I adapted to it. And I easily have over 12,000 shutter counts in this because I just take this camera with me everywhere, and I've never had a camera that has impacted me so much in my life other than this, because this has forced me to test out new things and I got to play around with it a lot. And I can't wait to take this camera out to different places around the world just to take photos because I just love this camera so much, and I don't see myself selling this camera anytime soon, no matter if I got the Q2 or whatever. All the functions it has right now, the software, I still love it. It's not perfect, but it's something that's really nice to have. As well, it's so compact. I noticed that if I want to take an A camera out and like a B camera just to get behind the scenes or something smaller, these two fit perfectly together in a bag and you still have room for your flashes and all the other stuff. Whereas if I take two big cameras or this camera and a Leica Q2, this sticks out so much that I can't put this in my bag as well. So I find that this is way more convenient, and you can even take a lot of BTS with this, which is really nice, which I have done. And speaking of BTS, in 2024 I was actually able to go on actual film sets to start taking photos and videos for production, and I really love that because I come from an acting background and I just love being on set, so photos and videos is something I also love. And being on set, So it was a perfect mixture for me, and I found that there was no pressure at all. I was at my own pace, at my own time. As long as I gotten certain photos and videos, it was good enough, and the production actually loves them. And this also led me into an acting role in one of the movies, so this was really interesting because I never expected to be able to get an acting role from that, and it did somewhat move my career a bit forward. I'm looking forward to the movie coming out. And the movie is actually called Finch and Midland, filmed in Toronto, but it's a Chinese-based company making a Chinese movie in Toronto, which is really interesting, and they had a pretty big production. Not that much of a budget, but the production itself was pretty big. And in the middle of the year, I actually got myself the Osmo Pocket 3 as well, and I gotta say, this is a game changer, I think. And I think it got really popular in 2024 because of how convenient it is and how nice and smooth the footages you can get from this. So now my BTS, when I go on set, it will be this setup. And just making this video actually made me think I should get the extension for this to take like the 55mm for Fujifilm, 55mm focal length, so that pretty much covers everything I need, because I won't really go much wider than the 23mm that's on this. And because of how easy it is to use this just to make content, I'm gonna start making more. I said that I was going to, but I didn't really go out much. But I can't wait to take these two, just going on vacation and just filming everything just with these two. And the files on this is actually pretty small, and it's perfect for vacation. I still remember I dropped this into the lake, the mic 2 into a lake, and it was in the lake for like 15 minutes, and I took it back out, put it in rice, and it still works fine. So yeah, which is really nice. DJI stuff really good nowadays. And closer to the end of the year, I also got myself a Leica Q2, which was really nice. I've never had a full frame camera. I got this because it was at a really good price, and the photos coming out of this, oh my gosh, I love it. It's not the Leica I really want. I do want the Leica Q343. That's the one I'm actually looking for. But I've never experienced this, and this was such a good deal that I think that I couldn't say no to not getting this right away. This is a second-hand camera that I got, but I love it. The 48 megapixel is something I've never had. My cameras at most is 40 megapixel, and they're APS-C. And like I said, I've never had a full frame camera. This is such a unique camera that it changed certain perspective of how I look at photos, as well as the 28mm, which I think is more 24mm. I've never thought that I love it so much, but I do think that sometimes it is a little too wide, because there's certain things that you just don't want to get up close and personal all the time. But I think the 43 would be perfect for me, as it's a perfect focal range, and I think that I don't always want to crop into my photos, so I do think that this might be a little too wide for me. But I did think I took the most advantage of this camera as I could. So other than the main cameras that I got this year, something that I really enjoyed was discovering new styles of photography. And a style that I really discovered this year was, I call it overexposing whites. So this style is actually kind of reverse in photography, because in photography you tend to be most attracted to like the brightest part of the photos, whereas this, I'm telling you to look at the darkest part of the photos right away and then take some time to look at its surroundings. And I find this style really unique and really fun to play with, especially in the winter when everyone's wearing black and dark stuff and they're wearing coats, and in certain photos you can tell like, oh, this is the surroundings it's at. And I find that this actually tells a different story compared to what other photos do tell you. This is actually one of my favorite photos. This is during a protest, and it's a lot of cops lined up. And if you guys take some time to look around them, you can see people protesting, and I find this really unique. But your main focus right now is on the cops. You just have to take some time to take a look at the photos. It makes you first impressions like, why is this person taking a photo so overexposed? And then you take your time to look at the photo and be like, oh, there's stuff going on around it, which is something I really found interesting. And I've personally never seen any edits like this. It is done in post, but it's a really interesting take, at least for me. some people do like it, I guess. Some people don't, but it's a style and you can never satisfy everyone. Also in 2024, I experienced wedding photography and videography. I want to expand my career and maybe step into weddings. So I wanted to try new things. I've done events, other types of events in the past, even bar mitzvahs, but I've never done a wedding before, so I actually found a wedding company to hire me. It was an Indian wedding company, so I experienced a lot of Indian weddings. Never in my life ate so many Indian food, but it's a really nice experience. It's really rowdy, and it's not just one day, it can go up to like 7 days, which is amazing. It's a great experience, which also helped me land a few wedding clients as well, so I'm trying to slowly build that into 2025. Lastly is my studio space. I've been changing the angles and stuff a lot since I've been doing YouTube again this year, and I think I'm pretty satisfied with this. I'm still doing it out of my own home, and right now my living room is pretty much the same area, so I don't want to bring it into my living room. It's more my desk and my own studio, and I can take photos just right next to me, and my other setup is right there. So I think right now I've been changing a lot of angles, and I hope you guys actually enjoyed this angle for talking heads and my shorts. Looking forward to 2025. I do want to get a lot more into videography and cinematography. I do have stuff planned out. I do want to share with you guys in the future, and I want to get more into filmmaking as well. And I have some stuff planned out already, but I want to only share with you guys when it's done, so I'm not just all talk. As well as for photography wise, I'm hoping that I can travel a lot more this year so that I can show you guys how I actually take photos around the world rather than just in Toronto, which is, like I said in the beginning, it is getting kind of boring. I wish to take this setup, just vlogging and just traveling, just taking photos. That's something I really wish I could do, and I'm hoping I can do. As well as my own personal journey in 2025, I hope obviously land more jobs, as well as hopefully get a lot more fitter, because I actually gained a lot of weight in 2024. I don't know why exactly, but I did get a lot stronger as well. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what your journey is, what your goals are for the upcoming year. And yeah, hope you guys pay attention to me in the new year. Thanks, and I'll see you guys next time.